Okay, here's another shot of the creek. Over here, I'm on the opposite side where I was before. That's where I was showing you the large slabs of rock that were broken down, right? And what's neat about it is that this stream is going just the way our stream table was, and is constantly flowing. And as it flows down this direction, it's going to be carrying sediment with it and depositing it and just slowly weathering the rock away. Right, so here's what's neat about it. So over here, you can imagine it starts out as a big slabs of rock, and then over time, because of weather and rain, snow, wind, plants, animals, everything else, that larger rock is going to get broken into smaller pieces of rock. Okay, and there's Alice. And then over here, I'll show you this, take a look. So you can see kind of the transition of it, right? So we have the bigger rock, and then it breaks down to smaller pieces, smaller and smaller, right? And then eventually you end up getting like this sand, right? So this sand at one point started out as a giant slab of rock like that over there. But weathering and erosion broke it down into that size. Now what's neat about this is that with water, you're gonna have animals living in it, right? So for example, I was just lucky enough to see that little clam right there that's living in this creek. And there'll be other animals like crayfish, like little Herbert, living in here, but for real, not in an aquarium. But what eventually happens is that those animals, like all living things, die, like this clam died right here. And what's neat, because of deposition, where the sand is being left behind on top of it, if that animal gets buried and is left for a really, really long time, we can get possibly a fossil, right? So take a look at this. So here's a clam shell of a dead modern day clam. And if I were to just bury that and just like that and leave it for a few million years, it could possibly fossilize, kind of like how Alice is right now. And what's neat about this creek is that it is full of these awesome rocks that have fossils in them. So these are the remains of animals that lived in this area 500 million years ago, before there were anything living on land at all. These are fossils that are older than dinosaur fossils. And we'll talk about this more, hopefully in person, but if not, I'll share with you resources so you can learn about these things. Because this was a totally different animal than this thing right here. And then that was a different animal as well. So these are all really, really amazing examples.